The full day, it's very lovely to see lots of old friends and faces and people who've actually devoted many, many hours and years to making sure the legacy of Bert Halsey lives on through the Trust. I can't thank you all enough. We've got some lovely donors and sponsors and people who have supported us, and we're very proud that this day has arrived, and we wish the Trust to continue for many years. We've also got, with great delight, people like John Townsend, Pete Anderson, Ian Hearn, Jeb Palmer here, all past chairmen of the Trust, and their work and their efforts over the years have ensured the Trust has put itself in this position now. Bert Halsey founded the Trust in 1981. The boat is named in memory of Bert Halsey to continue his legacy, and his widow Anne will formally launch the boat.
What a sight, absolutely incredible, the work that's gone into this achievement, and I just don't know how on earth we could say such a thank you to everybody who's been so involved with producing this incredible boat. When you do come on board afterwards and have a look at it, it really is wonderful. When you christen or launch a narrowboat, you do it with beer. Just don't ask me to drink it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very honoured and very privileged to say that I would like to name this boat Halseyon Days. May God bless everybody who comes aboard. Thank you.
Halseyon Days. And Halsey. And Halsey's family. And the Baldwin Trust. For the kids to actually copy and colour in as well.
Right, yeah.
And that way.
So it's all been, everything's been thought of.
Well, hopefully.
And is this?
That's our mascot, Baldwin.
Right, so that's Baldwin Bear.
Yes.
Oh, lovely. So have you got somebody that does those for you?
We have 14 knitters who do it voluntarily. So we have a knitter trip every year.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Isn't that lovely?
My name's Rose Parrott, and I'm the fundraising and events coordinator for the Baldwin Trust. One of my main jobs was to raise money for the defibrillators and to get community groups involved, and we've managed to raise £3,500 to have 3 definite, one for each boat and one for the next boat that's coming. We've got more than enough money for that.
It began with Bert Halsey and his first wife, Joan, was a social worker at a hospital that is now defunct, which was Leicester Frift Hospital on the Groby Road in Leicester. And Joan realised that a lot of the patients there had never been out of the ward for many, many years. She organised a boat trip with the Peter Le Marchant boat, and Bert went along for the ride, as it was, but it was debatable for many months afterwards who enjoyed it more, Bert or the patients. They had a wonderful time. And that was in 1980. In 1981, unfortunately, Joan died, and also on the ward that she was very heavily involved with, the father of one of the patients died and left to the boat, to the boat fund, the sum of £500 to spend on as many patients and people as possible. They had a committee meeting, as they do with the hospitals. They couldn't be involved because they worked for the NHS, and they decided to ask Bert if he would help organise something. They didn't want a minibus. They'd already been serviced, no tyres, no nothing. They'd got more snooker tables and television sets than they knew. And of course then somebody came up and said, well, why don't we have a narrowboat? And that was really the start of it. Bert found out that they had to be registered as a charity. What were they going to call it? Well, Joan's main ward that she was associated with was the Baldwin Ward. And that was how it got its name.
The workmanship is tremendous on the boat. I've been on there on the narrow boat, and it's really lovely, and I think it's a fantastic tribute to Baldwin Trust to be able to have achieved this from lowly beginnings, really, just answering the needs of Anne's son and other friends as well. So.
Within 3 months of the first press release being issued, we were approached by a lady. We restructured the trust. I went to a meeting at the past chairman's home, where I thought I was going to be appointed a trustee, and they asked me to be a chairman. So I then agreed to do that, was honoured to do that, and within 3 months we'd made a programme of press releases to advertise the Trust plight to raise money for the first new boat. And what happened was a lady who was here today came down to see me one day, and the secretary, Liz Broughton, and she turned round and came on board Dandelion, looked at the state of the boat and various other things, and she gave us £50,000. £10,000 to refurbish Dandelion and £40,000 to our new boat. Well, when we put this together with the £50,000+ that the previous chairman had already accrued, Peter had been trying for nearly 3 years to get funds and the design of a new boat agreed, and for some reason he didn't have the right people acquiring funds. But we're in a position where we were able to promote what we were doing, and within the space of about 10 months we'd raised £180,000. We were then in a position where we could start saying to each other, let's fix our boats properly, and we had Dandelion completely refitted. The engine then blew up, so we could replace that, and we're now in a position where Dandelion is very good, Sinclair is very serviceable, and we have Halseyon Days completed, built and launched today.